welcome back to Let's Talk H.P. Lovecraft. Doing my third Lovecraft review of the day because I've gotten into some short reviews after going through a phase where all the stories were long, but the journey continues with The Very Old Folk. This story was given a title by publishers as it was found in a letter that Lovecraft wrote to Donald Wandrei in 1927. The narrator is writing a letter to a friend in 1927. He's just read the Aeneid, and it's inspired a vivid dream in him one night. The story is of him recounting the dream. In it, he is a Roman officer of some type on campaign in Basque Country near Pompello. He recommends that a military campaign be sent to go against a small tribe of people descending from a very old line, an ancient line, living in the area on a secluded mountaintop. It's hard to reach, but there's been some deaths, and they have their yearly ceremonies coming up where they beat drums and sacrifice things and people. And because of the unrest that these people cause, the character decides that it would make sense to attack them, eliminate them, and then alleviate fears in the community, because the Romans who conquered their role for the people who live under their control is to protect them, and that's how you maintain the peace and keep them paying your taxes. So 300 men are eventually sent in the night. The mountain path is too steep. They leave their horses at the bottom. Meanwhile, a local guide who has lived in the area his entire life and knows the rumors and the traditions of horrors involving this tribe has led them. But suddenly the horses scream in the darkness below. They can't see what's going on. Frightened to death by the screams, the guide kills himself. Meanwhile, the soldiers start being picked off from above by dark shadows sweeping down at them that they cannot be seen. But clearly some horror dwells on the mountain or is called down by the people living on the top every so often. Yeah. The dreamer wakes up, remarks that it's the most vivid dream he's had in a long time, and he says it must have welled up from his subconscious. Quick analysis for you. It's unclear if Lovecraft had this dream himself, or was he simply writing a piece of fiction for a friend? So is this a actual letter of a dream, or is it a story inspired by a dream, or is it a completely fictional story with no dream inspiration? Not clear. Short story, so it doesn't take much of your life to read it, but it's kind of unwieldy because so many of the words are in Latin, and Latin is just sort of an unbeautiful language as far as I'm concerned. But Lovecraft has done this avenue once before. In The Tree, he set the story in ancient Greece, so it had a similar type of vibe to that. But there's little else to sink your teeth in as a reader. There's vague notions of the subconscious and maybe genetic memory. These horrors from ancient times being welled up in you, and not just subconsciously, but also through the power of literature to inspire, and then for the mind to reorganize what you read into completely original horrors. So I think in the whole, the story actually speaks a bit to the creative process and how it's hard to explain how, where inspiration comes from. And Lovecraft certainly had some very interesting inspiration to come up with the sort of unworldly, bizarre stories that he did throughout his career. So if that is the message here, it's a cool one. I would have liked to have seen a more meaty story, but obviously this story was never meant to be published, really. It was just simply found among his notes after he died. But you know what? It's cool that it survived and that I was able to share it with you here today. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Short story, give it a try. If you like it, give this video a thumbs up. And until next time, keep it creepy.